I might just put this on both channels, because I can't quite get myself back to sleep. Why is that? It's because I am indigo righteously enraged at the brood of snakes and liars that has called themselves Ibogaine. This is what happens when you try to murder the Avatar, people. A chemist's daughter, to her, you don't even know what league you're in, dear. So, you might have noticed, for example, that I haven't done anything back to you, period. That's because you're too wide open. If I were to, say, make something happen, it would happen, and you have a child who is special. So, you don't believe me? Oh, the reason that your dad was down there is because of a guy named Marco. I was friends with that guy for like 4 years. And that guy was the guy who said, Krista, you have the ability to give life and to take life. Yeah, what I've seen you do. You also have the ability to do that too. So, because I'm supposed to be technically an earth angel of sorts, I mean many different things. People don't understand this concept. But Marco does, I can tell you that. We exist in many different places at once. That was one thing he kept telling me. He kept telling me, if you read Animal Magnetism by Gregory, if you read this, super dark book, it's very, very dark. It's hard for me to even open the thing. Now that I can feel all this stuff. If you read this, I'll teach you how to bilocate, basically. He didn't use the term bilocate because he knew, if he used that word, I could just figure it out by myself. Amazingly, I did figure it out without even needing to read the book because I learned about what a Merkaba was. But it's far beyond that. We exist simultaneously. If you think of right here where you are as being everything that could exist, then you do exist everywhere that could exist. And this is why I'm a philosopher, technically. But I was also the best in the entire Western trade when it came to handling the hardest Ibogaine cases you could come up with. The last person that I did, before all of you guys went postal, no one would have given her a thought. It was the first time I ever failed, too. First time I ever really failed. But nobody else would have even stood a chance to even begin with her. And now, as more and more of you figure out that the system sucks, maniac just homicidal, suicidal with my hand up on the Bible is the way some this yell music goes. Maniac just homicidal, suicidal with my hand up on the Bible. Yeah, the maniac homicidal part, that'll run on for a while. It's an old program that's good that we're removing from the system. Like your antivirus software, kind of. Well, those are several humans like me who act as biological virus protection software, you could say. And you're going to figure out that you don't like what you're doing. Or all the Iboga trees are just going to die. Like, think 2009. Think summer of 2009. But, like, nobody has anything. Nobody. Not even the, people that, secretly doing stuff in their garages. Nobody has anything. If that's what it takes to shut you crazy fucks down, that's what it takes. Hopefully, you crazy fucks will realize I'm not talking to Österreich, yeah. In Österreich. Ja. Hallo. Ja, ist die Wahrheit. Ja, ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen, ja. Ist nicht so gut wie früher, wenn ich ein Mädchen war. Aber ich kann's, ja. I can make myself understood. I can speak so that one would understand. That's how I would say it in German. Wie man verstehen könnten. That's how I would probably say it in German, how one could understand me. Because, yeah, you hackers, also Austrian guys, you got Austrian people, be aware that there are a lot of random Russians. I don't even know who they are. A guy named Peter. I don't even know. I'm like, who are you, man? What's your problem? Also, the greatest potential person. Yeah, I want to talk to you as well. Greatest potential person with the pirate avatar that you see who makes comments on my videos. You're an idiot. Why am I saying that? Well, because, see, the person is making comments that seem positive, but it's meant in a private kind of way to me that, oh, I'm sharing your videos with every single Satanist, and pirate is the idea. Pirate is the concept. Look at the avatar, pirate. Even though it might say greatest potential, yeah, greatest potential is a freaking pirate. It's Captain Hook right there. Okay. You can also recognize this. Lots of people that have the V for Vendetta kind of lined avatar of let's the V for Vendetta avatar. All the people that have that, a majority of them, or almost all of them, are dark on us. But as I was fuming myself around the house, fuming about this, angry about it, and thinking, oh, I'm going to yell at them in a video, Cryon said, well, Krista, you can't do that too much, or you're not going to make very many friends. And I said, well, Cryon, clearly these people were never friends in the first place. They knew what they were doing to me in South Africa. Jonathan definitely knew, now that I know, oh, hey, Pleiadian Starseed gets taken over. You Pleiadians are so easy to hack into. At least one Arcturian that I know of kicked and screamed, I believe. And I can't blame Mr. Angelic Black Hat. I can't totally blame them, because what Cryon told me is, well, Krista, it's like me. We just sit there like Jesus and get enslaved. So look at him. and so I think, okay, well, I can't get mad at secret Jesus who's secretly trying to take over the world with secret hacking or whatever the fuck. Crazy group of crazy fucks. Hey, Doug Green. This is a person who used to work with Dana Beal, and Dana Beal, if you don't know, Million Marijuana March, and then Dana Beal tried to screw me over with the whole Vermont thing. Oh, Dana, yeah, punch in the face. You are going to get punched actually in the face. No, I don't care how old you are, because oh wow, you knew what the fuck you were doing. You Jewish fuck. Yes, I can say that because I used to say all anti-Semites should be shot. And so if it's a bunch of Jewish people doing this now, it's like it was the Germans before. Before it was the Germans doing all this stuff, and the Jews fighting back. Now it's the Jews doing all this stuff, and the Germans fighting back. Literally, because the only real people that are emailing me are all German speaking. Which is great. Yeah, totally. But, Doug, oh yeah, I couldn't eat a brownie. Oh man, I wonder what is happening to you now, dude. I don't know if you still had your brain screwed on straight, or if it's now being unraveled in front of you like little mess, and you're gonna have to come to me to say, oh, will you please put this back together somehow? I knew that I could do exorcisms. After I survived the whole possession stuff, I realized that there was something inside of me that simply prevented me from being possessed in a full type capacity. I know that there are entities that are inhabiting places of my body, but nobody can hack this. No, nobody can do that. And that is where your main advantage always lies. Because even if, like Linux, one part of the system goes down, if the other parts all have a blueprint of what to do, especially what I would call the most important part, the processor right here, then you can't take the system down. In fact, actually, I was told something along the lines of, Krista, we just want to warn you, in the coming years, you need to know that whatever may happen to your body, you will still be animating it, no matter what. You have to understand and be accepting of this concept for it to work. If something happens to you that is of a physical nature, you need to know, like Stephen Hawking style here, you need to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are still going to animate that body. It's as if you could literally be like this, like Stephen Hawking, and somehow you would still affect reality with the frequency that you are generating. You would still have power. So I said, oh, good. Thank God, that's good. We need the... Also, people who are watching this, when people cough or whatever, those are reptilian, that's part of reptilian mind control. So, no, if you're watching this and think, oh, she suddenly coughed, no, it doesn't. It means I had to clear my throat. That's what it means. The reptilians can get confused over this. I feel that whenever I blow my nose or cough. I feel you guys thinking, oh, she did this. For that for a reason? No, it's not for, it's for a reason that I have to just cough or whatever. So, in this total apocalypse, we need those of the people that are like me to rise up. And fortunately, after speaking with someone who really seems to have to handle it in a similar way to me, but I didn't, I just got hit with the stuff, didn't quite know what to do, and figured it out, and actually end up having an appointment with the person on 11/11, I mean, of all the days. Oh, that was oh, Krista, what day did you make that appointment for? Oh, well, it's Tuesday. Oh, 11/11. Thank you, Cryon, the magnetic angel. Cryon, I can say, has everyone's best interest in mind. If he could, if it was his jurisdiction to do so, he would just, snap his fingers and say, okay, all of you are free and your lives are perfect. But it's like, human, it doesn't work that way, is the way he kind of says it. It doesn't work that way. You have to do this yourself. So what have I now? I was the best, the Western best in the profession that I was in. Which, yes, I was. Hey, if you're going to argue with Mr. Yael Marco, you're arguing with literally the top of the entire Ibogaine chain. So, he knew it. Even if none of the rest of you knew it, he knew it. Yeah, I was the best in the Western world. The only person who I've ever seen, encountered, any other provider I've ever encountered that had a similar kind of force behind them, that guy that you all know, Yanni. And that guy, that was the only time that I could see correctly down there in South Africa. The harp was so bad that all of you who are watching with visual abilities, you can see the wall move or vibrate. You can see vibrations or energy. It was so bad down there, and the fluoride was so bad that everything felt shut down. I couldn't see. Everything looked flat. like things used to look, where I was born seeing things normally. So I thought, oh my gosh, it's gone back to this. My God, it looks horrible. When that guy stood up and spoke, I could suddenly see again, and I could see the spirits behind him and everything. But then as soon as he left, everything stopped again. And I thought, oh, well, yeah, there's some strong power behind this person. And I know that there is behind me, because, see, in Gabon, they're not going to really tell you that, oh, this person was dying of X many things, and we gave them Ibogaine and then healed them. Why are they not going to tell you that? Because it doesn't make sense to the Western world and Western medicine, and all the Western idiot doctors who don't even know how to check for a blood clot correctly. Yeah, Albert, you're a retard. You are stupid. And you deserve to be told that, because you know what you were up to over there. You all know what the fuck you were up to. And you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed as sellouts to Satan. You should be ashamed. In Gabon, they're not really going to be telling you, this person has liver failure, this person has kidney failure, this person has this, and we're giving them Iboga. You'd think, oh my God, well, that'll keep it from being ever legal. Well, we don't have a government right now anymore, people. What? Legal what? We don't have a government anymore. It's like The Walking Frickin' Dead. It's like 28 Days Later we're talking about here. We literally don't have governments practically anymore. In order to survive, I have to walk into the store wearing black, because telepathically receiving messages from people that wear black saying, look, do this, and you'll be able to survive. Learn these techniques. You'll be able to survive. You remember those things from karate that you learned? We're going to teach you them over again. You're going to learn this and you're going to survive. Knocking on the wall when I say random things. I mean, honking at 3 in the morning. Honking when I say random things at 3 in the morning. Now that's something that's hard to explain in San Ramon, California. That is very hard to explain. Plus, there's a curfew here in this town. You're not supposed to be walking outside at night past 10 o'clock even. That's why it's so frickin' weird. In Deutschland, Österreich, you'd think, oh, I hear honking, I hear the cars outside that time of day. Here, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like New York here. It's a quiet suburb. So, the way all of the attention of this pervading blackness, this darkness that has come upon everyone and literally hacked into them like a computer program, installed itself exactly like a computer program. I don't know what went wrong with the install with me, but I just, it's, I think, called hacking the connection back. We can actually feel, or if this is happening to your phone or your computer too, sometimes you can feel the other person typing and doing stuff and seeing things on their screen. And even if you don't know how to do any of that stuff, because I don't now, it's as if it doesn't matter, because how's it going to benefit me? If I learn that, how's it even going to benefit me in the future? It's not even my main skill set. Who cares? And plus, who cares if I look at the computer, say, off, and all of a sudden the power is gone? Well, that kind of fixes the issue of who's the better hacker there now, doesn't it? Or if I say, internet, you're going to stop now, and it stops, then that's so much easier than having to go through all this typing and coding, and I mean, who bothers with that stuff? Just go straight to it, or straight to what you want to be doing. Since we, of whatever survivors that we are, and it's still Doug Green's phrase, oh, the cream of the crop, the top of your pyramid. I'm going to steal this from Girl Interrupted. I shit on your pyramid. That's from Girl Interrupted. I shit on your penis, except as I'm going to say I shit on your pyramid. Your pyramid, no. And I knew that this was going to happen at some point, that I was going to somehow figure out how the stuff works, and do it back to the people. Figure out how your damn pyramid works, how this stuff works, and reverse engineer it. And it's happening. So, if you intend to stay in the darkness, you can intend to do that, but please run very quickly because you'll get killed in the process, or unless you literally move, you're going to get killed somehow. You're going to commit suicide, get into an accident, something will happen, or you're going to die. That's what's happening right now. The people who are destined to live are in strategic positions. And the entities destined to be kicked out are going to get kicked out. And the people with entities in them you don't have to go through stuff alone, but you do have to attempt to fight back. You have to attempt something of your own initiative, or you will be killed by what's possessing you. And then somehow somehow they will get moved. Usually, once it seems like with the reptilians, if they get kicked out of a person, which I'm going to now learn how to do, because I realized I could do it for myself, and I knew that. I knew that I could be an exorcist. Then I was in prison for 17 days, and all that stuff happened. Now we're good. We're back on track. Since reptilians seem to have figured out, we get kicked out of one of those humans, astrally, we don't actually stand much of a chance against them. Once we've, been inside of them, and most of them are so much smarter than us that they figure out how to do all of the stuff that we can do. If we get kicked out with the humans still alive, then we either die or we have to go running scared. So most of them will go running scared, which is the preferred thing for an Arcturian generally, except for an Arcturian that's really, really, really pissed off. So it seems like I'll also be getting some of that monatomic gold. And figure out how to use a very strange chemical. I was just told, Krista, you know this company, you know they're smart. This is something that you should get. The cures to your main ailments are right here in front of you. All you have to do is do it. All you have to do is do it. So, I will now. What of a philosophy where, for some very strange reason, your main adversary, it turns out. Oh, and hey man, I cried for 3, 4, 5 fucking days straight over him, okay? Yeah, a year ago. Realizing, oh my god, this guy, whatever, it's trying to enslave me, it's trying to enslave people. Yeah. I was really, 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 really upset. Really upset. Because I'd known him for years. Already had stuff mailed to me and whatever. Here, you learn Sanskrit. All this stuff. And all the time, you were this little conniving piece of shit. Where if I ever see you again, in any car in the parking lot, or in my house, or anywhere, period, I'm going to grab you by the freaking neck and... Just so you know, anybody who ends up in a situation where where it's you or the gray species, and you have to choose live or die, and it involves attempting to kill the other species, the way to do it is respiratory. Their lungs can't handle this atmosphere very well, so that's how that's the best way to kill Zeta Reticulans. If you don't have any way or know how to do it, if if you end up having any way to change the atmosphere, the denser the atmosphere, the harder it is for them. And we're very dense. This is a very dense place to live. That's why we don't like living here, because it's very dense. And that's the way that they tend to die anyway, and they'll die at random in our atmosphere because it's our atmosphere. So that's why they usually don't show up very often. They only show up when they really have to. Now what of that where it's him telling me, go buy this, it'll cure you. I did buy it. I did buy it. It took forever to convince my mother to do it, but I did buy it. Then the entire Ibogaine list said, oh, that's got to be fake, but I knew, no, there's something to this. But then, oh, what happens? The program tries to tell me don't do anything, or makes it too hard for me to do it, where now that I've just watched people getting away with making yellow Ibogaine, okay, we got it, there you go. You can't really screw this up. So, there you go. What I'm talking about, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about a specific remedy to many different ailments was told to me by the exact EL that tried to kill me. I did end up buying it, but I never really ended up using it because I wasn't not sure what to do exactly. And I was too worried with type 5 to be very meticulous. And so I was worried that I would do something wrong, because chemistry is not something you mess around with, you know? And I thought, okay, if I'm actually reacting stuff, I have to know exactly what I'm doing. And so since I couldn't figure out exactly what I was doing, I never tried to do it. Then finally it was when I was almost getting murdered that I said, wait a minute, I have that stuff. And I don't have liquid citric, but I have food-grade citric. It doesn't matter how much, I could figure it out. I watched them just doing whatever the hell down there making Ibogaine. You know, they just doing whatever dirty practice didn't matter to them. So you know what? I know that I can survive. If they were breathing in industrial grade ammonia. Okay. But it's with hydrochloric this time instead of citric. I just thought, huh. And also Crine was saying, Krista, you're going to need the hydrochloric for some reason. I'm thinking, why? Well, either way, Krista, you have the citric you have citric acid already, so you get the hydrochloric instead. But now when I think about it, it's a stronger acid, even though it's diluted. So that actually is I don't know how to explain the picture in my head of the way the molecules come together. It's like there's a bigger bang or something, bigger spark somehow. There is like is the difference with the stronger acid. So I'm going to go about doing that. Also, the diatomaceous earth. That is so funny. That one there. That's also really funny. The tricks of the trade. Well, you can't do this with the stuff from Merck. You need food grade diatomaceous earth, but you know, if you take a teaspoon of that stuff in water once or twice a day, you start to notice that you have much more of a connection with your higher self. I actually noticed it after taking it once, and I thought, oh my god, I felt high. Yeah, I drank silica, and I felt high from it. So that's that seems fun. So yeah, guys, drink silica. You'll feel high. So silicon dioxide, or amorphous silica. It seems like now I have a cheaper place to get it, so that's good. But it's amazing that I was told the same thing as that other guy who knew about it. I was just told, look, Krista, you see this here on the website? You see how they're selling it here? You see it's the same company that sells this stuff? The stuff that he told you about. Alright, you see those other things they're carrying? There's a reason they're carrying those. Think of what this first stuff you're getting, what is it called? What's it start with? What's its name? Okay, what are those other things then? Those things must be pretty good for something too. Especially the diatomaceous earth. See, diatomaceous earth, tricks of the trade. Get that? Just do it. And I didn't know, what the hell I was doing. Just do that and get it. Even though I knew it was silica, but I didn't know that it was going to become a big thing to take silica as a supplement. I didn't know that. And it is. We're at the beginning of the whole thing of people taking silica for their transmutative symptoms, basically, to help the process along. Because there are those of us who will live and those of us who will die. And I'm going to be looking back at the end of my life in some sort of strange guru-type position, I think, with a fountain pen and stationery, because I'll argue with them saying, no, but every philosopher must write. It is not a primitive activity. And recount the story of the apocalypse, of Addendum 21, of what would have been nuclear war, apparently, of what would have been World War III. And I am the one to stop it. Eventually the military people, eventually whoever is flying above my house and all of that, eventually they're going to start saying this stuff. Remember, all of the military personnel who came forward, they didn't come forward until they were much older, They were doing everything, and they were scared to death and 19 years old. I'm willing to bet that the people in those planes up there are only 19, 20-year-olds. Just kids. Half don't know what they're doing, half possessed. If they were to break out, scared because now I'm in the military, I'm owned by the U.S. government, is how they think of it. And when the military is involved with stuff, it can get a little dicey when the military is involved, and having to stop their systems and things like that. But they're gonna be guys that say, oh yeah, I flew over her house. I was the guy spraying this stuff over there. I was the one who did this or that. I flew in one of those planes where we did the geoengineering. And this is what happened. Yeah, we had, I was one of the architects who built this housing system. Yeah, we knew what we were doing. It was built interdimensionally on several fronts. Everything was installed with carbon monoxide. The air vents, it was all in tanks there waiting for when it would all happen. We knew about it. And we were supposed to bring the United States to its knees. The idea was to bring the United States to its knees, because now power has shifted. A lot of you in other countries who are watching, power has shifted basically to the U.S. Like on spirit science, this guy says that, where he's talking about whatever it is, something almost inside of the Earth, he's almost talking about where energy gets focused. And right now, that energy has shifted to the United States, to the west coast United States. And I think that it's there because we're kind of near Hawaii. California, where we are, is sort of near to Hawaii, a little bit. But Hawaii is so small, you need California to be mobilized and fighting back, because California is quite a bit larger. Right now, California is a half disaster zone, half Alamo, of people fighting back all of this stuff. But sometime long in the future, with my cool fountain pen, which does say Edenhawk on it. All you Ibogaine assholes. Yeah, this is engraved with my name on it. You assholes, you Ibogaine assholes. It will be far in the future where I write down the account, look back at all this. I wonder who that was knocking on the roof again. Not the roof, but it's like the ceiling, or you'll hear things thrown against the wall, and it will feel, or hear, you'll hear it or sound like something hitting the wall, or as if someone is tapping the inside of the wall also. And I'll end up being the one of many to write an account of this. Almost like the Diary of Anne Frank, practically. But it must be documented. The story must be told. Because as my history teacher used to say, if you don't learn from your history, you're doomed to repeat it. The way we've had this happen so many times, we've tried to fight back a few times, but we've forgotten, therefore getting ourselves screwed over again. So, even though we create openings by describing this is what occurred, you close so many openings for other people by describing this is what occurred. If this occurs to you, if this happens, do this to fix it. So we need people like me to put themselves out there to risk their lives like this, to do this. And one of these days we're going to be going over to a certain health food store. It's really a chain which has negative intent towards the people who come in. That it was created as a front. Remember, if you're a light worker, if you're a vegan, if you're a vegetarian, they know that, and the idea is to screw with us, try to get us, try to monopolize our products, so that all of us need the same products, but they're controlling it. The pyramid people are controlling our raw vegan stuff, or whatever. So what they tried to do, they tried to create a chain store to control our stores, but we're not stupid enough to fall for that. But we are stupid enough to fall for all of our products being monopolized. So, slowly, but surely, we're going to go back to the smaller business concept. And as soon as I find somebody who's got raw vegan stuff who I can manage to somehow trade for it, or something, yeah, I'm going to ditch you, Garden of Life. Ditch you, boycott you, Garden of Life. The company that most of us use is called Garden of Life. And they make raw vegan protein powder, raw vegan meal stuff. All their vitamins and everything tend to be the best at the store that you can get that are raw vegan items. But it's monopolized by a bunch of sold-out Satanists, basically. Or whatever it is, I can look at their logo with the pyramid right on it there. And how else can I say this? Because one of their products almost killed me. It was programmed to do so. And after I began to evolve past it, now I can drink it. It's the Marley coffee flavor of the raw protein. The employees in the store were high-fiving each other, saying, "Oh yeah, we as in we did it, guys." And I could tell that they were doing that because they had convinced me to select that particular one. But it wasn't. It's not like if you tried to drink the Marley coffee that you would just die. It's something. It had to do with what I had in my body at the time, what they were exposing me to, and what frequencies and energy was there. It also to do with that. So that's why you could try to drink the Garden of Life Marley coffee raw protein drink and you wouldn't die, because it has to do with some other things in order for the elemental death code concept to work. So I'm going to be going over there to that same store where the employees were giving each other high fives, and they said right behind me, with my mother standing there. The one employee says to the other, "Let's kill it." Right behind me. "Let's kill it." While I was in the store before this, there were people who you could tell, there were employees, but there were also people in plain clothes, like just kind of people spying around in plain clothes. And this one guy, looked like a gay guy, was doing this, like making fun of me, like this. Okay, let's demonstrate it, like this. They'll do stuff like that to you. Anything of a sexual nature that they can try to do to somehow intimidate you, make fun of you, threaten you, anything to disrupt your personal frequency of peace. And so I'm curious, are we going to get the employees at the corrupt store on camera doing their corrupt stuff? Oh, excuse me, officer. Well, we're the same head. We're both Satan. So, what do we do about the angel in our store? Walking around like an Arcturian, taking what she needs because we've stolen all of her money, basically, and we keep trying to assassinate her. So she's coming into our store and just taking the food because she needs it. What are we supposed to do about that? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. When I go into that store, they say that it will be annoying for me, or like made difficult perhaps for me, but that I won't have any problems, and that they know what they're dealing with, and that they had better shape up, or either get out Satan, or get out Reptilians, get out Zeta Reticuli, get out, or you can die and do the thing over again. I mean, do you want to die and do the thing over again? You're stuck in this prison system here. So if you die in the prison system, if you die in the Matrix, if you die inside the prison system, you get recycled in the prison system. You're sure you want to do that? I know that I deprogram people by being in their presence, which is why they would try and swap people out around me, because the people would start to break. Or not break, the program would start to break as I would be exposed to the person. It would start to harm me, but then after a certain point I would come back. Somehow the fire within me, which I mean as a zeal, not literal fire, as a type of zeal, would come back, and then the person, it's as if the program there would start to mentally, as it would start to crack, start to break. And because it would start to break, then the people would start freaking out, because the program is breaking, and they would have to swap people around to attempt to handle me. But either way, it wouldn't work, because the people would come in fresh with energy, and then I would end up wearing them down, and they'd swap them out with someone else. I'd have to keep on doing this and keep on doing this. It was quite taxing to attempt to survive, but I have, and I will. And all of you in the dark still right now, who end up somehow coming out of the dark, who I know. Think of the prodigal son. That was what was told to me. They said, though, Krista, you can simply think of yourself as the prodigal daughter. You were raised in this. You knew about good and evil. You knew about Revelation and the end times. You knew about all of this. You knew about the 666 concept and everything. You had it taught to you very strictly when you were a child. And you left because it didn't make any sense to stay. You left because you knew something was wrong. And it was wrong. There was something very wrong. But here now you can see the truth in the way the truth was written, the way Paul wrote it. Most of what Paul writes, a lot of it is altered in different places, but the bulk majority you can't take the meaning away from Paul. You can't take the energy away from him. His energy is just so distinctive. You went away from this. But when you needed it, when it came down to what really mattered, when you realized this is about my soul, you're talking about buying and selling a soul. Help me, what do I need to do to survive? You need Jesus Christ and the Archangel Michael, and you will survive. And when it really mattered, I came back. Most of the people that I ended up encountering so far, only, I guess, the two of them, but only the two of them so far, but it will be more. I know it will be more. When people figure out you're a kind of exorcist, or that's what being an excellent Ibogaine provider is. It's like being an exorcist. That's what it's like. It's like you're being an exorcist, like you are casting a demon out of somebody. When you are being one of the best Ibogaine providers in the world, it's like being a world-class exorcist. But the trick is going to be starting to do it without Ibogaine. That's going to be the trick, because if you guys can't figure out what the fuck you're doing, and we have to just eliminate Ibogaine from the planet for a while, we're going to have to do that. Because then what will matter, doing it the energetic way, that will matter, and only the people who are in the light are able to really do that. So that takes out all the dark, using Ibogaine as the prop. It's an excellent prop to use, I mean it is, but when it's in the wrong hands. Oh, Howard doesn't like that. If it's in the wrong hands, it doesn't work. He didn't think that so many people would take his creation and try and screw the world over with it. He had no idea that would. It's as if he's saying that's so unfathomable to me. That's just unfathomable that's what would happen. Or like Chris, like you saying, I thought about this and why there were so many problems in Ibogaine production, and I thought it must be that they didn't have a very good method. But I found out that, and I said, no, that's not what it is, because it has nothing to do with the method, it has to do with the people. And he said, yeah, I figured that out. Yeah, figured that out. But everybody who did try to murder me, the idea is out of the prodigal son, who is received and there's a feast. Oh, look, you've come home. Welcome home. Yeah, that really sucked when we were playing Mario RPG over there, and you tried to run me over with your go-kart, but it's nice to have you back outside of the RPG. That's kind of what this reality is. like playing Mario RPG. And I say Mario RPG because that was the only video game that I really paid attention to, really, or knew how to play Mario RPG. And Mario was a word that kept getting popped up on my phone. Because the idea, Marco would get changed to Mario on my phone, because the concept was, it's not really Marco. Whatever, anyone who's seen a picture of Marco or seen the human called Marco, it's not real. It's a person that's possessed who's got some other name and like all of this stuff is like on all these different names of different people, like L in Death Note. L is a bunch of different people, the detective in Death Note. So that's what it's like. It's like, oh, I'm Mr. Yael here, and I puppet master like 1,000 different humans at different times, at any time that I want. I've got control of X many of them. And what's funny is that like Sue Davy was one of them. I thought that was weird. Oh my gosh. And Uwe, U-W-E, or I can't quite remember how to pronounce that name in German. You suck. Why do you suck? German. This is a German guy. So nicht Österreich, so not Austria, guys. Deutschland here. And Nietzsche would get really mad at his fellow Germans because it'd be like, you idiots, you idiots, you idiots. Apparently, when I tried to heal myself in Frankfurt am Main, like direkt am Main, das war sehr toll, es ist direkt am Main, der Jugendherberge. So, apparently I sit there with a book and try to heal myself, and your stuff broke. Well, I wonder why. All I did was attempt to heal myself, and your stuff broke. Well, if it's part of a bunch of dark bullshit, which is what happened, I tried to talk to this person. Oh, everything's happy until finally, then everybody else just talks to him, and then convince him to hating me. Well, how can you hate the girl who saved your lives? How do you do that? You try and say, oh, it's not real. It's not real. It's not real, and I have literal proof of injection marks on my arm of a large gauge needle, and waking up with it, waking up to some chemical, whatever you want to call it, some chemical in my air. I can barely breathe. I have to run outside because I can barely breathe from whatever this chemical is. Except I get told, except I would get told what it was. I've already said what it was. And the way that they do that to you is put the detectors for it there to suggest it to you, because you have to create the reality. That's why it works most of the time. What I've done is I simply taped paper over the temperature gauge where they were shining a blue light. The Greys were shining this blue light to say, oh yeah, we're controlling your thermostat, we're controlling what gets pumped into your house. Oh, I said, oh, I see you're wanting me to believe that. Here is what I believe. I am taping up white paper over your apparatuses because they no longer exist to me, dead to me, out of sight, out of mind. It's not real, huh? Neither is Shakespeare. No, yet that's true. No one can figure out who the guy was. It's not real. Krista, I don't want you to die. Fuck, damn it. Fuck. This is nanotechnology. It will run its course through the target system. And you know what the target system is, in this case. Yeah. So you're having fun? Fuck you, man. Look, it's just like Paul in the box. It's not real? What is real? How do you define real? It's not me from right now. Don't tell me that right now. It's me from the future. It's not real? Oh. How does it feel to be famous? Two different people, independently of each other, said that to me. One was in the prison place, hospital. The other was on the phone before I was in that place. A person from LA and a person from Sacramento. Both said that called me up at random, tried, like, somehow they had my phone number, called me randomly. Before I had my phone number everywhere like this, they just had my phone number, and I hadn't given it out like that. And they were calling me, trying to suggest strange things to me. You might get calls where it's to attempt to make you do something or push you to do something, and you just have to hang up. As soon as you figure it out that it's something dark, hang up immediately. You don't even say anything back. Just goodbye, gone. Get behind me, Satan, goodbye. But all of these people, how does it feel to be famous? Oh. I wasn't quite even sure how real this stuff was. But based off of your reactions, how intently you act to attempt to assassinate me, how intently you try to do all these things, I have a funny feeling that it just might have been real, that the United States government was planning to attack New York with nuclear radiation and a tidal wave by crashing an aircraft into the Atlantic. Somehow partnered with Russia, because all of you crazy Russian hackers trying to watch me. Some Russian guy named Peter, I don't even know who the hell you are. What'd I even do to you? Some of these people in Ibogaine, they can say, oh, she sucks, or she's a bad person, or whatever. They could say I acted like that due to the program influencing me, because I was a target, because I was an Arcturian, because I was an angel. And if you can turn an angel into a devil, then you fix the problem of having an angel. But the problem is thinking the angel is a problem. Oh, it's not. It's not real. Oh, it's not real. Yeah, it is. Though some of the people, like the you greatest potential guy and the Peter guy, Russian Peter guy, what did I even do to you? Like, I didn't even do anything to you people, whoever the hell you are. The Ibogaine people can say that they're mad about X thing or whatever. I'll give them that. But whoever the hell you random people are, I don't even know what is up with that. That is the damning evidence, Watson. That is the damning evidence that I really did stop World War III. And you would even dare to say how I am acting is unethical. Standing for truth and love and light. And oh, we've taken all your money, so in order for you to survive, you have to just take stuff from the store. You try to call that unethical? You try to call that stealing? After what you have done? After what you know that you have done? You tried to call anything that I am doing unethical. And you even dare! Sexually abusing your Ibogaine patients? Stealing from legitimate, honest providers, apparently of which I'm probably the only one, it looks like. And I will say that to all of your faces globally because you deserve it. All of you in South Africa, all of you in Amsterdam, all of you in New York, all of you in Mexico. Eric Taub, I used to call it the Eric Taub pyramid scheme. The Eric Taub Ibo pyramid structure is what I called it. Wow, it was. And now, wow, we systematically got somebody into it to take it down. The pen is my sword, as Voltaire said. I guess I'll put this in both places, because I'm just pissed off here. An Arcturian philosophy as the brilliant loser.